Welcome again to TJKshares. We thank you, those of you who have already subscribed and shared and commented. We are learning and growing together as a family. For those of you who haven't, please subscribe, please share, and do write comments so we can know what topics to cover and also learn and unlearn together. We know the best is yet to come. So today we are going to talk about managing people. 21 years ago, I started Nyaka organization, which started as a Nyaka school. And so throughout this episode, we are going to share stories. We are going to share the lessons I have learned in these 21 years, the hiring process, recruiting people, managing people, and Nyaka is very unique in a way that it is located in southwestern Uganda where it started. From the day I started Nyaka, I was living and still live in the United States of America. So that means I've been managing this organization for 21 years, long distance. Many of you have been in long distance relationship, will understand this. Before Zoom was Zoom, before conferencing was conferencing, we as an organization were doing long distance managing. So managing people, as human beings, we all have our own personalities and our own tendencies. And so as a CEO of Nyaka, trying to recruit the best of the best to work in a rural area of Uganda was a big challenge and continues to be a challenge. In fact, when people ask me what's the biggest obstacle managing this organization and running it, I always say number one is managing people and managing long distance. Many organizations usually respond with fundraising money. But if you have the best team that is working with you, for you, the raising money becomes easier. So our number one challenge as Nyaka is managing people, which is why we are doing this episode. So you young people who are starting can learn. You veterans who have managed can share. And those who are currently managing also can share your opinions. This is personal experience, 21 years of running Nyaka organization, which started as Nyaka school. The day Nyaka opened doors, January 2nd, 2003, I had single-handedly recruited 2 teachers. A female teacher who was my teacher as a child, and an assistant teacher. These I can mention names. Canon Frida Diavrachilia was my teacher, who turned around to come from her retirement to run Nyaka Primary School. 2 classrooms, assisted by Agaba Innocent. Both these individuals are still alive. Thank you for your services. You built a foundation on which Nyaka Global today stands. So for perspective, some of you who don't know Nyaka, that's how it started. And today, Nyaka employs 120 employees in Uganda, managed by Jennifer Nantare, the country director. We have offices in Canada, offices in the UK, and offices in the United States. We are filming this in our office in the United States. Our producer, Matt Stubble, behind the camera, thank you. And our team in Uganda are waiting for this episode. So we started with 2 people. Number one, I always say you can hire talent, you can hire academics, you cannot hire passion. What I was looking for at the beginning of Nyaka is to hire people who are passionate about the work we do. People who will lead from within, attached, excited to come and work every day. People who breathe the mission of the organization. Freda was and still is like my second mother. We knew the children we were taking care of as orphans are orphans, many very destitute, many from long distances. What they needed was more of a caretaker than an employee. And Freda's mother instincts, which I had experienced as a child, her grandmother love and care was the number one thing I saw in her, believed in her, had experienced. So I knew our 50 students in P1 and P2 would be in the best hands with a caring, loving, passionate woman in Canon Freda Yaurachija. And we were not disappointed. Agava Innocent had just finished school, senior 4, no training in teacher, amazing Christian young man, committed to the community. His nieces and nephews had lost parents. Some of the students we had recruited were from his family. His father had volunteered to be the leader for the Guardians and Association. So at church, one day after church, we are talking about, we started this school. It is very small. The windows are not there. Dust is all over the place. We need an assistant for Freda Yaurachi. And I would do it right there and then. No application, no recruitment letters, no interviews. I felt it right here. The passion to serve, the volunteerism, raising his hand first. Right there and then we had our first 2 employees. We did everything to bring the training that is required, sharing long distance phone calls with Freda and Agava Innocent, and slowly they all embraced the mission of the organization. To this day, these 2 individuals built a foundation on which we stand and are still in as volunteers, as guides. We always say in Yaka that when we recruit somebody, they become part of the family. And this has been a family that has continued to go. Service above self is something Rotary Club talks about a lot. We wanted servants at heart, people who are willing to serve regardless of the circumstances. I didn't know where the money would come from to pay them. But to tell you the truth, also, Nyaka has been blessed beyond measure. In 21 years of our existence, we have paid every single month, every employee without fail. I didn't know I could guarantee that. I still can't guarantee it today. But because people are passionate about the work they do, I can guarantee you that many, if not all of our employees, regardless the continent they are on, will come to work if we woke up tomorrow and say we don't have the money to pay you at the end of the month. So passion, they are passionate, they love the work. Researchers and consultants who have gone to Uganda, they always come back and say, what do you do with your employees? How come they are so excited to come to work? How come they are so committed to the mission? I always say we recruit people who are passionate about the work we do. Granted, ladies and gentlemen, we will also talk about bad recruitment. We'll also talk about hiring and firing. We've had some who we hired thinking one way and they ended up not being one way. We've had those who we thought the passion was there, but it was not there. So we'll cover that also. I don't want you to start thinking that Nyaka is a perfect organization. Everyone they hire thrives and stays with the organization forever. No. We share the success, we share the failures, we share what we have learned and what we have unlearned in the process of growing this organization. People love people. We've had most of our employees also connect with each other, whether they are in UK, in Canada, in Uganda. Now we have remote teams working from different perspectives. I've been lucky as a person to have been born in Uganda, raised in Uganda, then at 24 years come to United States. So I'm kind of like a hybrid of cultures. And that has helped manage this organization because I have to basically manage people in the United States, different culture, different backgrounds, manage people in Uganda, different culture, different backgrounds. balance the gender equity within the organization, women and men, balance different religious backgrounds and upbringing, or to bring one family together for one mission, which we always say, for our children's sake. So Nyaka started that way. It has become Nyaka Global, but let's talk about hiring somebody who ends up not meeting the expectations of which you hired them for. So once in a while you recruit somebody, now Nyaka has processes, systems, you apply, you come and interview. We've had an episode that you will be seeing on how to prepare for an interview. How do you go, dress up? How do you show up at an interview for those of you young people? For fellow CEOs, please do write comments and share your experiences so we can both learn and unlearn together. We have hired some people who we thought they fit the bill. They interviewed good, both in Uganda and the United States, but then in the middle of it, it doesn't work out. The expectations of what the organization has and expectations of an individual. We advertise and say we want a fundraiser who can raise this amount of money within this period of time. We train, we invest. A person comes in, interviews very well, passion, you can see it, and then when they get on the job, they cannot perform the job. Typically, we are like we do with the children, we'll give as many chances as we can. We will do evaluations and check in 3 months into the job. How are you doing? How is it going? 6 months into the job, how are you doing? What's going on? We then go into 1 year. Let's do evaluation. These were the goals we set. Have we met them? Have we not met them? After a while, definitely, if somebody has a job, they are not meeting expectations, and you have that tough conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, the toughest thing for me as a CEO of the organization is to let somebody know your job is ending, either due to performance issues or some other issues, but the ones where you have to sit in a conference room next to the person, they have children, they have bills, they have pets, they have a family, and you are telling them your job is ending. That's my tough one. And so many CEOs I've met all have the same struggle. That means we are human, regardless whether you are CEO of Starbucks, CEO of Facebook, the CEO of New Vision. When it comes to letting somebody go from their job, it is a tough call. So as you interview, if you're an employer who've never managed people, I am warning you, be ready. That's a tough conversation to have. If you don't find it tough, maybe your heart needs to be checked. Humans, we hurt when others are hurting. We empathize with you. We sympathize with you. But the job and responsibility of managing comes with it written clearly in our job descriptions. If somebody is not performing, you let them go. So I've let go people here in the United States. I've let go people in Uganda, and those are tough situations. Some of you might watch this. I want you to know it was tough. And to remain it's tough today when you have to let somebody go. But also, there is something I want to share. Since I told you I have the Uganda culture and I have the American culture. We in Uganda and many parts of Africa, we are taught to wait to praise yourself. Let somebody else praise you. You do something good, you don't go around and say, hey, I did it, here I am, I'm a winner. We are taught, we are raised to let another person say, you are a winner. That goal scored was amazing. But when I moved to this country, the United States, I found out that children are raised, society raises you to have that self-reliance of when you score that goal, to raise your arm and say, ha ha, I did it. Here I am, I've accomplished it. Now, when it comes to jobs, the interview process then is different. When I'm interviewing a person in Uganda, I'll tell them, tell me about your accomplishments. And they will go, you know, I've done some things, I've done others where my references will highlight all this. Because the reference is going to tell you how amazing that person is. Somebody else is going to praise them. Change it and bring it to the United States. I'm sitting across the desk from somebody I'm interviewing and say, tell me about your accomplishment. I am an amazing writer. I know computer this. I know this program. I've raised money. I have capabilities to do this. So in the beginning of my career, I went by what they said. The references also definitely will go, oh, they are good. But we market ourselves in the United States. In Uganda, somebody else markets you. It has changed now. We are in 2022, but I'm talking about in the beginning, when Nyaka was beginning. People are working in my basement, to the office, too small. You interview somebody and go, oh, I got it. Then 3 months into it, you find, actually, it was part of it was overhyping. The skills were not there, or it is the belief knowing I can do this. Then you get into reality and you can't do it. Specific examples are related to fundraising. Through my public speaking and fundraising, I've found out number one fear of people is stand in front of people and talk. But there is also a big fear to ask for money. You say the word fundraising, people go, I don't know about that. I don't want to ask my friends. To the extent that during my work at Michigan State University, I found out from interacting with so many other fundraisers around the country that many fundraisers actually don't ask money. They tell the story and people offer money. And so if you have a person who just tells the story and doesn't ask, then their fundraising is limited. So when I hired fundraisers, I wanted people. In my mind, I thought every fundraiser will go and ask money. Not only ask money, ask specific money. So, segue into fundraising right now. If I come to you and say, Matt, our producer, would you consider a gift to go to Nyaka for children and grandmothers? And I stop right there. I am giving Matt an open canvas. Would you consider? He can consider $10, he can consider $100. It's up to him now. But if I come to Matt and say, Matt, after I have done my research, I know where he stands, I know some of the income, public records, and say, Matt, would you consider $100 for a child to be able to go to school and have lunch every day? I've asked for a child, I've asked specific amount. Matt can say yes, can say no, can say maybe, but I've asked him a specific amount. Now we have to make sure that we don't ask too little, so he can be offended. How dare you think I can only give 100? Or too much? How dare you think I have that kind of money? So the research behind the ask usually goes in and researches what does Matt earn, what is his giving habits, and then we find that in the middle, we ask you what you can afford and we give you options how you can give it. So I've hired fundraisers who didn't know how to do that. They just wanted to go and tell a story and let people go. Also, depending on the amount you're going to ask, in the same circumstances, you choose how you will do it. When we go to lunch together and I look you in the eye and we are having a meal and ask you something, it's different from sending it in a text message. Hey, Matt, what's up? $100 for Nyaka, man? That's like setting him to say no. Come on, man. If you wanted my $100, you could at least give me a phone call. So we do know that face-to-face is number one. Phone call is number two. Email is going impersonal. Text message, even more impersonal. Social media messaging, even more impersonal. We are still human. During the pandemic, it was harder. This is why Zoom is more popular now, because people can see each other and each other's expression. So managing Nyaka, managing people in Uganda, way before Zoom was a Zoom, way before conferencing was conferencing, used to take a phone call to Nyaka where there was not even connectivity. Somebody had to walk from the site, go climb on the hill to get the signal to be able to talk to me. That was even an advanced. When we started 2001, 2003, there was not even cell phone coverage or cell phones in Nyaka area. We would have to send a message to Sempa in Kampala. Sempa would write a message, put it on a bus. For 8 hours, the bus gets to Nyaka and the message will be delivered. Now with cell phones, it's easier. As technology grew, email grew, we were able to manage faster, easier, and get people to interact with us. Today, Nyaka actually uses WhatsApp, Zoom, Google Meets, Visio, all different areas of managing, but also of connecting with the people on the ground. We just finished a retreat, 120 employees in Uganda in one space where we were checking in with each other. But I also want to talk about, as you grow as an organization, you, the CEO, cannot do it all. So how do you get tasks to be done? How do you delegate tasks? What this itching of a human being, you want to do it all yourself, you want to get this. When Nyaka started, I did it all. I did the website, I built the first HTML. For those of you young people, you can Google it. It was once something you did to build a website. I did the code, I did the fundraising, I wrote the thank you letters. I came to the office, I would thank donors, I would go back, buy bricks, go to Western Union, send money to Uganda. As we grew, the other aspect you need to learn about Nyaka right now is we grew the organization from bottom up. Remember, here I was the CEO and founder who went and hired 2 teachers. So now you have a founder and CEO and you have 2 teachers on the bottom. Then we grew 3 teachers, 4 teachers. And by the way, kudos to you, Emmanuel, Lydia, and Jerome, who are still our workers from Freda to Agawa Innocent. We had Jerome, who is still teaching today at Nyaka Primary School. We had Agawa Emmanuel. All these were managed by Sempa, who was a volunteer, but now he's our accountant in Uganda. So now I started to learn how to delegate. Now you wonder, this man has told us he had a fifth of a pencil as a child. He grew up in Nyaka. How did I learn how to even delegate or manage? People, listen to me carefully. Skills are learned. You have to invest in your profession and find books about it, find courses about it. Nobody ever taught me these leadership skills when I was a kid. But when I came to this country, before I came to this country, I started investing in leadership. Take a course online. Go take a course in your electives. As an adult, I still wake up today and read blogs to learn from others. Learning is a continuous process. As leaders, you go and look at all the habits of successful people, CEOs of bigger companies, smaller companies. You want to be a successful leader, you have to continue learning. So I read about delegation, hiring the best. After you hire a person, you throw them there. You can't just throw them in the water and go. They are going to be successful. You invest in their professional development. Then you add tasks. Tasks of I was buying bricks here, getting money, buying bricks. For it, we had to hire builders and trust that the committee on the ground is going to manage and oversee the building process. When that task is off my table, then I have to now do the other few ones I'm still have on the table and do them more effectively. Effective leaders delegate. So if you have not started delegating, think about it. Lose that control of I can do it best, I know best. People will make mistakes. when they are beginning to develop their leadership skills. And you as a CEO, you have to be patient with people and give them more tasks. Doesn't mean you make a mistake, the website didn't, you try to put this page and came on the other page, now you are fired, you can't do it. No. Let the people try, let them make mistakes, let them grow. Now Nyaka has departments, from fundraising department, communications department, accounting department, to programs department, to Nyaka Canada managing things in Canada, to Nyaka UK managing things in Canada. Our communications even has departments within it. Social media handling, newsletters, the people who make phone calls, people who pick up the mail, people who sell baskets, people who go in the field, grandmothers program, schools and headmasters, clinics and dental units, water and sanitation, microfinance. I don't have skill in all those areas. I cannot give you an injection even if you fail right now. But we have nurses and health department. And I know when I empower our head nurse and our doctor who is managing these different departments and give him the tools to succeed, they go and execute. We have a managing director now in the United States. One time was CEO and teachers. We have a managing director now. He has tasks of looking at all these different aspects. We have different boards. Board in the United States, board in United Kingdom, board in Canada, board in Uganda. As the CEO of Nyaka now, I coordinate mostly at a higher level with the boards, then coordinate with the line managers, managing director, and country director in Uganda, and then they manage the teams within to make Nyaka successful. But it took years of building, of investing, years of training, years of learning, and years of unlearning. There are things we will start and realize this doesn't work. There are databases we started with and realized this database does not fit the organization. And then the other thing you have to remember is growth comes with changes. You cannot be that button that only goes in one hole every day you put on that shirt. Technology has changed. I told you there were no communication cell phone ones. Now all 120 employees in Uganda, 7 in the United States, every employee of Nyaka has a phone. That means we have group of WhatsApp, we have groups in emails, we have Google Documents. You can edit documents now, seated here after it has been put in by grandmothers. And our monitoring and evaluation, ladies and gentlemen, I can sit here in East Lansing, Michigan, and see where grandmothers' personnel are going on a map in real time. So if we just stay static, for us, we always use a cell phone, we cannot use Google tracking, then things will move faster. Every day I wake up, there's something different. We have grown an organization, but we have also grown in departments with different people who are doing different tasks. So now we, as an organization, are called Nyaka Global, basically because we cover such a huge area. So for my young people who are aspiring to be CEOs, it is possible. For all the other people who are managing, I know you're doing a good job. Let us share, learn together, keep learning and unlearning to perfect our growth in our organization. Let's delegate. Let's invest in our employees' growth. Let's give people as many chances as we can to learn their skills. If it doesn't work, definitely let them go, but don't let it go on the first thing that somebody failed. We all come from areas. Me as a Christian man, I always said God gives us so many chances. Imagine if the first time you sin, He struck you dead. You wouldn't be here. Just always remember that the person who is washing your car might not have ever seen a car at all. If they are moving around and the mirror breaks, you have to teach them how the mirror moves when they touch it. You have to be patient and delegate these tasks. I have a transportation officer in Uganda. So instead of dealing with that young man who's going to wash the car, you tell the transportation officer, guide him on how to get that car washed and appreciate him for doing it. So appreciate your employees, appreciate the people you work with, let them try new things and give them a chance to fail and learn from their mistakes to continue growing. And this all comes through delegation. Thank you for listening. The best is yet to come. Nyaka is continue growing. This channel is continuing to grow, but we need you to continue subscribing, sharing, and also commenting. Let's grow together. Let's learn and unlearn. And remember, the best is yet to come. Thank you.